Have you ever had that feeling of being so close but at the same time so far? How when you understand what they say in English, but it gets time to answer? As if your voice simply disappeared. As if fear shuts you up before the word came out? You are not alone. Today, I want you to take a deep breath. And believe me one thing, no one is born fluent. Fluency is built brick by brick, word by word, step by step. And the truth is that you have everything you need to speak English naturally. You just need to learn the right way. Not decorating cold rules, but feeling the language. Living him inside, with emotion. This episode is for you who have already thought of giving up. For you who find yourself too shy, too old, or just think it has no gift for that. Today you will find that the real secret is not talent. It is practical with purpose. It is training your ear with love, your voice with courage, and your mind with confidence. Because listening is more than listening, is to allow yourself to feel. And talking is more than repeating, is to express yourself with truth. In today's episode, you will know a story that will touch your heart and at the same time teach English in a way you've never seen before. With emotion, with truth, with soul. So stay with me until the end. Because today, you will not just listen. You will feel. You will learn from the heart. And if you believe that this journey can turn lives, including yours, you already subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and comment below. I want to learn from the heart. It all started in a small town named Greenville in South Carolina, a place where the days went slowly, but dreams ran quickly inside the heart of a boy named Ethan. He was like many of us, shy, observer, full of desire to change the world, but locked by insecurity. Ethan grew up listening to songs in English, watching subtitled movies, decorating lyrics without understanding what they said. Always found English beautiful, but distant, untouchable, as if belonging to another world, a world where he didn't know if he was welcome. At school, he hid in the back of the room when the English teacher asked questions. His hands were sweating just thinking about having to pronounce something like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" He understood everything in the head, but the voice crashed. One day, however, everything changed. It was in a presentation in the church. Ethan had been invited to sing with the youth group, and the music was in English. His heart accelerated. He almost said no. But something inside him, an invisible whisper, he said, "Go," and one. That one don't know him. On the night of the rehearsal, he was silent. I just watched. When his turn was his turn, he took a deep breath and sang. "You raise me up just I can stand on mountains. You get me up so I can be on the mountains." The voice was not perfect, but it left. And for the first time he felt he could. That was possible. That English was not a seven-headed animal, but a bridge. A path to something bigger. After that day, Ethan decided to change. Not from country, but posture. He started listening to simple things, sentences of everyday life. He took an expression and repeated several times, like a prayer. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I can do it. I can. He created a ritual. Every morning before leaving, he repeated 3 sentences aloud. Today is my day. Today is my day. I am not afraid anymore. I am not afraid anymore. I am learning English because I love it. I'm learning English because I love it. These phrases have become part of it. They were like a shield. When the fear of speaking came, he remembered, fear is temporary, growth is forever. Fear is temporary, growth is forever. But the big turn took place at a cultural fair in the city. Each student would have to present something about another country. Ethan chose the United States, not only because it was the theme of fashion, but because he wanted to face his fear. Show yourself that it was growing up. He prepared everything, slides, photos, videos, and in the end, a small speech, in English. On the big day, the whole school was there. When he took the microphone, his hands trembled, but he remembered everything he had repeated for weeks. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ethan. Today, I want to share with you a little bit about the American culture. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ethan. Today, I want to share with you a little about American culture. The auditorium was silent. His voice was soft but firm. The words came out with little mistakes, but with great emotion. When it ended, everyone applauded. Not because it was perfect, but because it was true. In the end, the teacher approached and said, "Ethan, your voice has power. Don't stop. Keep going. Ethan, your voice has power. Don't stop. Continue." He never forgot that sentence. That night, he wrote in a post-it and stuck in the mirror, "Your voice has power. Your voice has power." From there, he began to help other students who were also afraid to speak. Created a practice group. They gathered every Saturday afternoon in the park, sat in a circle and trained English with games, short sentences, jokes. Let's practice. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Repeat with me. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Gradually, he was discovering something much greater, that the language is not done only of words, but of emotion, presence, surrender, and that English can be learned from the heart. And maybe, like Ethan, you're thinking, but I still rap. I'm still a mistake. I'm still ashamed. And I tell you, everything is fine. Wrong is part. Be afraid too. What cannot happen is giving up. Don't give up. Don't give up. You are stronger than you think. You are stronger than you think. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deep. Now imagine you in the place of Ethan, in that presentation. How would you feel? What would you say? Maybe your answer is, I couldn't. But I challenge you to change this phrase to, I will try. I am going to try. Because that's where it all starts. The days went by and Ethan was still firm. Now he woke up earlier just to train. He had created a small English audio playlist, short sentences with good pronunciation, accompanied by the translation. He listened as he brushed his teeth, as he had coffee, as he walked to school. This is how he understood that one does not learn English at once, but little in a little, every day. One day he heard a sentence that was recorded like a mantra. Small steps every day. Small steps every day. He repeated it as if he was carving the sentence within himself. Repeat with me, he said to himself. Small steps, every day. Small steps, every day. Little steps, every day. This repetition became music for his brain. And it can be for yours too. Now it's your turn. Breathe deep and says aloud with me, I believe in myself. That. Once again, slower. I believe in myself. I believe in me, really. Now you feel the sound of your own voice. He feels English rising inside you like a seed. Ethan began to understand the secret. It was not to talk much. It was to speak with truth, speak feeling. Sometimes he only trained a sentence, but he did it with the whole heart. One of the most important moments was when he discovered a new way of practicing. Active imitation. He watched movie scenes and repeated what the characters said, exactly with the same intonation. One day he saw a classic scene and repeated with the same tone, the same gestures, "You can do it! You can!" and shouted along with the character, "You can do it! And you can." Now, let's practice some of these phrases that Ethan wore every day. Repeat with me, slowly. I'm learning English. I'm learning English. Again, I'm learning English. One more. I'm not afraid to speak. I'm not afraid to speak. Now take a deep breath and repeat firmly, my English is improving. My English is getting better. Ethan began to record audios with his own voice. He used his cell phone as a training partner. I recorded, listened, corrected. Not to be perfect, but to hear, to recognize yourself. You can do the same. Take your phone and record one of these phrases, then listen, repeats, listen again, and repeats one more time. This is the secret that Ethan discovered. English enters by ear, but comes to life in his mouth. Speak to grow. Talk to grow. Each week he chose an expression and set up a mini historian using it. For example, I feel strong today. I feel strong today. and created a small scene on my head. He woke up, looked in the mirror, and said, "I feel strong today." Then he walked down the street with his head raised and repeated, "I feel strong today." And gradually, that phrase was no longer just an expression, and it was part of his identity. Let's try this now. Close your eyes. Breathe. Now it says, "I feel strong today." Repeat again with emotion. "I feel strong today." Now imagine you leaving home, head held high, the wind touching your face, and you saying, "I feel strong today." This is practical with soul. Practice with truth. Ethan also had difficult days. There were days when he thought of giving up. There was days when he caught ugly in front of someone. But in these moments, he always remembered, mistakes are part of the process. Mistakes are part of the process. He didn't erase the mistakes. He learned from them. Now it's your turn. Say me, slowly. I'm not perfect, but I'm growing. I'm not perfect, but I'm growing up. Repeats one more time. I'm not perfect, but I'm growing. Because this is what matters. And the most beautiful is that over time, other people began to notice the change. Ethan spoke more clearly, more calmly. The English words came out looser. And not because he became an expert, but because he became someone who is no longer afraid to try. And you can also be that person, even if it still misses, even if it still has, even if you still feel ashamed. Every day is a new chance. Every day is a new chance. And this chance is here, now, inside your voice. Repeat with me for the last time in this block. My voice has power. My voice has power. Feel it, records it, and never forget. After months practicing consistently, Ethan felt that he had won the first major obstacle, the fear of listening to speaking English. That trembling voice gave way to a firmer intonation. The previously dragged words now slid more naturally. But he wanted more. I wanted to master the rhythm, sound more fluent, sound more natural. It was then that he met a technique called shadowing. You may never have heard that name, but this simple technique can transform your English. Shadowing means sombra, that is, listening and repeating immediately after hearing an English phrase, trying to imitate everything: sound, rhythm, emotion. Ethan started listening to small scenes of series or short videos on YouTube. He chose a sentence, played, and as soon as it was over, he repeated right away, like a shadow. He listened. I'm ready for this. And repeated without thinking, I'm ready for this. Did not translate, did not analyze. I just felt and repeated. Shall we practice together? You will hear the sentence and then repeat it. Aloud, with confidence. I'm ready for this. Now you. Aloud. I'm ready for this. Once again, like a shadow. I'm ready for this. This is shadowing. And Ethan did this every day, even walking down the street with the headphones. He repeated it in a low voice if he was in public. At home, he spoke louder with emotion. Soon after, he learned something even more powerful. Listen with intention. It was no longer just listening. He stopped everything. I closed my eyes, and it paid attention to the speaker's breath, pause, emphasis, in the tone of voice. Where are you going? He noticed that the where was stronger, and you going almost fired. Where are you going? Repeated mentally. Then he repeated aloud. And I did it with emotion. Now try you. Where are you going? Repeat with intention, with focus. Where are you going? Ethan used this technique when he saw movies, series, interviews. He stopped a sentence, heard, repeated. He was not just seeing, he was studying the soul of that speech. Over time, he created his own personal technique, which he called emotional immersion. It was like this. He chose a sentence, visualized a real scene in his mind, and then said it as if he were within that situation. One day he heard a striking phrase, "Don't give up on your dreams." Don't give up on your dreams. He closed his eyes and imagined himself at the top of a mountain with the strong wind, looking at the horizon. And then he said, with tears in his eyes, "Don't give up on your dreams." Now it's your turn. Do like him. Closes your eyes. Imagine you are in the most beautiful place you know, alone, in peace. Now say, "Don't give up on your dreams." Once again, feeling, don't give up on your dreams. This is the technique of emotional immersion, and she changes everything, because the brain learns with emotion. And the more emotional your practice is, the more your English will flourish. Ethan came to combine these techniques in everyday life. He practiced shadowing in the morning, listens with intention on the way to school, and did an emotional immersion practice before bed, like a prayer. One night, before bed, he whispered to himself, "It's okay to make mixes. It's okay to make mistakes." And repeated, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming. I'm learning, I'm growing up, I'm becoming." Now I want you to repeat with me, slowly, aloud. It's okay to make mixes. Again, it's okay to make mixes. One more. I'm learning. I am growing. I am becoming. Do you feel the strength of it? It is more than phrase. It is identity affirmation. Ethan knew it was far from perfect, but he also knew no one can win if he doesn't try. He liked to repeat a sentence whenever he felt he was crashing. I speak English with courage. I speak English with courage. And now you are the one who will repeat. Say with me, with the heart, I speak English with courage. Once again, I speak English with courage. And that is what you are doing now. It's not just listening to a video. You are changing while listening. Before finishing this block, Ethan wrote in his notebook a last sentence you will say now. A phrase he read in a book and never forgot. Consistency beats perfection. Consistency overcomes perfection. Now you. Repeat with me. Consistency beats perfection. Again, calmly. Consistency beats perfection. Because that's what you are learning from Ethan. That simple, emotional daily practice. It is worth much more than waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. Your voice is ready. Your heart has already understood. And your English, it's already blooming. Now, closes your eyes. Breathe slowly, very slowly. Feel the air entering and leaving. It's just you here, just your breath, your voice, your silent courage that no one sees, but that is there, growing up, blooming, reborn. You walked here. You heard. You felt. You learned. And the most beautiful is that you did it your way, at your rhythm, with your truth. You are not just studying English. You are reconnecting with your inner strength. Remember where you started? Crashing. Afraid. In silence. Now listen only to your breath and feel this little truth. You are capable. You are smart. You are ready. Today you repeated phrases that touched your heart. Today you spoke aloud. Today you won. And it may be that tomorrow you make a mistake again. It may be a lock that forgets. But none of this defines you. Because you are not the error. You are the courage you try again. So before you finish, repeats in thought with me. I am enough. I am becoming. I will rise. And that every word you say in English from now on be a reminder of who you are becoming. In the next episode, let's walk a new story together. And once again, you will learn English with your heart. Until, save this certainty with you. You have already started, and no one can stop who has started with soul. If you have gotten here, take a deep breath and recognize you are already learning English. No tomorrow, not when you have time. Now. Right now, your mind is adapting. Your ear is opening. Your voice is freeing yourself. And all this started simply listening, repeating, feeling. Today, you met the history of Ethan, a shy boy, like so many of us, who turned fear in motion, who chose to try, stumble, and continue. He didn't wait for it to be perfect. He was imperfect with courage. And that was your biggest victory. You have learned phrases that are not just words, they are seeds. I believe in myself. I speak English with courage. Consistency beats perfection. These phrases may seem simple, but if you say with faith, they turn destinations. And now the question is, what are you going to do with it? Don't let this moment pass as any video. Choose a phrase that touched your heart today and say it out loud. 3 times. Now, with intention. Then repeat tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and after tomorrow. It doesn't have to be all, only one. But talk to the soul, because the soul understands what the brain forgets. Your English will flourish if you are watered with consistency and emotion. You do not need an expensive course or an exchange. You need routine with meaning, of presence, of emotional practice. And if this message touched you somehow, if you have moved you, or at least a sigh of hope, then subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications and comments down here. The phrase that touched me most today was, he writes, not just for me, but for you. This is your learning diary. Each phrase you leave written is like a stake stuck to the ground saying, I started, and I will be here, in each episode, reminding you that you can, you deserve it, and you will make it. Today was just the first step. In the next episode, let's discover new phrases, new emotions, a new story. And until then, repeats me softly, I'm not learning English. I'm becoming someone new. Thank you so much for being here. I see you in the next video.